let's quickly open up the new juice. Here we go. 5 litres of bean smoke fluid. So it's supposed to be a green smoke haze. So that'll be interesting to try out. Now, we'll be trying that out tomorrow because it's late at night and I don't want to work on it right now. Now to power up the smoke machine for the very first time since I built the circuits and everything in it. And that will be controlled by this little Zigbee power sensor here on the extension lead. So that's going to keep track of how much power that this is drawing and will also allow me to switch it off remotely. So I'll switch it on. I did hear a relay go on, so I'm going to quickly get into ESP Home so that I can update the firmware on it so that hopefully it will perform and act exactly as expected. Okay, gonna need to invert those pins. Now, a really annoying thing about this is that it seems that it needs to be on for it to get the updates I'm sending out to it. The good thing is I am getting sensor information, so currently it says the fuel low sensor is off. So let's see what happens if I start filling it up. Now it is currently going through an update, so hopefully it doesn't affect it too much. But it is producing a bit of smoke. Must have been some residue left. There we go, pumping out that smoke quite powerfully now. I'll fill this up. So over halfway. I just heard the smoke machine turn off. Green, that's good. And here we go. Here we go. Here's all the info, so I should be able to hear it. Yes. Seems that that is accurate. Now the only issue is the fuel sensor, I guess. I'm gonna have to use my finger. So I just got to test it out. I'm pretty sure there's no leaks, but it's hard to tell since I spilt the fog on it. So let's just turn it on for a little bit, I guess. Let's turn the heater on first. Count to 1, 2, 3. Pump on. Look at that. Just pumping away. Making smoke. I'll turn the pump off for a sec and let it actually warm up. In fact, maybe I'll just let it sit and see if any of the overheat sensors get triggered. Not hearing any noises. Fuel is not low. There doesn't seem to be a constant leak or anything. Ooh, she's getting smoky though. Getting real smoky in there. It's probably some of the stuff I spilt onto the element. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay, so top and low sensor has just come on, so I'm going to turn on the pump. Okay, so the top sensor is just turned off and on. It's doing its flickery thing, so definitely going to have to sort that out with some filtering code, which will just make it check on it periodically and make sure that things are actually in their set binary position before it sends through the data. So the next best thing to do with this is going to be to essentially fill a room with smoke. other than just wasting some of this juice into the air, I'm also doing this to make sure that the fuel low sensor is actually going to be triggered when the fuel is low. Because while I'm able to trigger it with my finger by pushing on it, it's always a different thing when it actually works in the wild. Such as neither of the two temperature sensors have gone off yet, which under normal circumstances, at least one of them would have been triggered before the machine would allow me to start pumping out smoke. So I'm going to check and see if there's any liquid coming out when it should just be smoke. Smoke machine seems to be working pretty consistently right now. It's not spitting out any liquids or anything. I do have the heater and the pump on at the same time. Not much smoke coming out the big door, but I hope it works perfectly fine. Oh yeah, no, it's a smoke machine. Well, some people thought the house was on fire. It's just a smoke machine.
Sorry.
Alright, time to go back in. Ooh, it's very thick in here. I almost can't see the ground. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna say that fuel sensor is not working properly. I hit my car. Almost think I should have done this in the front yard. What does it look like? Oh yeah, you can kind of see some smoke coming out. All the holes in the roof. At this point, it's consistently sounding like someone's sweeping up, so just still waiting. Okay, so I've made some very minor changes which should fix all and any issues with this smoke machine. Man, this camera takes ages to adjust to the new lighting. Now I'm just going to put in half a tank this time, and I'll run it till it's out again. And this should be the last test before it is put aside and deemed essentially ready for whatever it needs to be used with. Alright, in 3, 2, 1, pumping. There we go. All fluid is drained. Don't want it to struggle for too long. Now I'm going to give it a quick white vinegar rinse and store it away for a later project. Okay, it's been a few days and I've been doing other things, but now I want to see what kind of LEDs have been set up in this little controller here. Looks like this is essentially stamped together. So I might just cut the wire with no idea what language it uses. Let's see, this one should be the positive. Positive. How am I going to mark this? Alright, so I've got this simple little controller here. Positive, negative data. Now I'm assuming that this uses the same data protocol as the WS2811 12B. Assuming that, this should just work. Guess I assumed wrong. Oh well, I guess I'm just going to fix that wire up and join it back together. Other than a small 300-degree burn, that went quite successfully in putting that back together. So I'm pulling apart this little security camera with all these little screws in it, and I thought I'd bring you along. I'm really just trying to pull it apart, get it down to its smallest pieces, because I am only going to use this to capture audio from another device. And now that little thing is complete. It's able to stream across the network, so any device on the network can take its audio and video stream, which is basically a blank image. And also Home Assistant is telling me what it's up to, so I know that information as well. Sad to finally be selling my DJI Mavic Pro, but I really don't use it anymore. I then proceeded to walk away and forget about the camera recording for the next 2 hours. Oh gosh. Whoops. By no means is this an unboxing, but I'm going to unbox this. And while this isn't a brand new product that's just been released, it is still new to me. This feels like a very nice strap. This will be very comfortable to use. So, one of the bigger items is going to be the goggles. 2 cameras here so that you can actually look what's around you. Battery accessory allows me to have 3 batteries on charge. Lock it in. Power it by USB-C, which is great. The DJI Avata 2. The 1 degree of freedom, because the rest of it's done digitally. Then we've got the, what is this, like the Fly More controller or something? It's the joystick. I will be ordering the normal controllers. We use a normal joystick, of course, but that'll be ordered in the next week or so. Now the normal stuff, like the quick start guide, some spare propellers, as well as the screws for them. That's nice to see. What have we got in here? Got a Type-C to Type-C. We've got an Allen key. And we've got some sort of corrective lens things. This looks like this is just some parts for the goggles. That's great. USB-C to C cable. Always very useful to have around. Now, while I am going to charge this now, it is raining outside, so there won't be any flights in this video, at least. Okay, I got the doo-doo-doo out of this. Hey, okay, so I've got a DJI on the screen in front of me. Looks good, looks good. These goggles are very interesting, and I definitely need to look more into it. On for the next adventure with the DJI Avata 2. I'm gonna have to take some of these stickers off.